I'm in this public bath spa place in Korea, and it's really nice. I had my cute little uniform outfit thing, and I was going from room to room where there was different temperatures, and the whole point of the place is to relax and let yourself de-stress. But I couldn't, because that day was August the 22nd, the results day for my GCSEs. I prepared for these exams for the best of 5 years, and I just couldn't stop checking my phone for the time. And it's just as I arrive home, my phone rings and I get a message from my friends in a group chat asking each other what they got in their GCSEs, and so I know that my results are out now. And as I open them, I won't lie, I'm nervous, because although a lot of my friends had fully locked in, pulled off 8-hour study sessions, quit video games, stop sports, stop music to go all in, I actually hadn't done that. Long-time viewers will know this, and I mean, it's literally on my channel for proof, right? I was uploading twice a week consistently, and above else, I was doing all of those things I mentioned and more. And so I started to wonder whether maybe I should have actually studied more, because I had taken a massive gamble. But as I opened my results in front of my mum, I saw that I had gotten a set of perfect results for all 11 of the subjects I had taken, which had put me in the top 0.03% of students that year, according to Cambridge. And now I had proof. Of course, I didn't study the least, but out of the people who did well, I know for a fact that I did study the least. And I don't mean that in a way to flex or brag. I mean this in a way to show you that studying effectively and studying the correct way can still yield you top results like it did for me in less time. Because whether like me, you have other interests and passions and hobbies that you don't want to drop and you want to continue on, or maybe you know that you're a slightly slower learner and you have a lot of content to catch up on, so being able to study effectively means you be able to cover content faster. I'll be sharing how I was able to get perfect grades while studying the least, so that you can take something away from this to make studying more efficient. The first chapter is to ignore your strengths. I started learning piano, right, as many of you guys might know, and piano is the most fun when I'm playing something that I'm good at playing and something that I can play well. Let me show you. For example, in this piece that I played a long time ago, the very first page, this part right here, it's really easy first of all, and it's just it's really nice to play, right? So the point is since it's easy and I'm good at playing it, I practice this a lot. But was I using my practice time well by playing this easy part over and over again? Probably not. Because since in this piece, there are other parts that are really difficult that I probably should have practiced more, such as this part right here. You get the point, I can't play it. That's the point. If I actually put my practice time into practicing that part, that would be more useful, because although it hurt my ego right now that I can't play it and I'm gonna have to put this on YouTube, actually practicing that would have been much more useful because it's my weak area. Whereas we tend to practice and do things that we know we're good at. And it's this exact same with studying. Who actually likes getting reality checked and feeling dumb? But you actually save so much time when you ignore your strengths completely and only focus on studying areas that are your weaknesses. And so in a macro or larger scale, this meant for me I barely revised for maths and English, because I knew that I was pushing 100% consistently, right? I knew that for me, maths and English were my most strong subjects. I was pushing 100%, and for a 9, which was the top percentile grade, right, I only needed mid 80s to achieve that. And so I was willing to not revise these subjects, and maybe they might even slip a couple of percentage points, but I knew that would be worth it because I had to put in more time for the subjects I was weak at, such as physics, history and French. And as you can see from my mocks, because I put more time in these, and this is the time that I got from not revising my strengths, I was able to push those to a high grade, as you can see. But you can also use this in a micro scale within subjects. When you're revising for chemistry, there's no point in revising everything equal, because for me, I knew I was good at states of matter, equations, titrations, etc. But I was weaker at redox reactions, balancing equations, etc. And so I didn't bother revising my strengths, whether that might have been more fun. I deliberately only revised my weak areas. I was therefore able to make studying so much faster because I only had to focus on 30 to 40% of the content in total. Remember, you don't increase the number of marks you get right, you just decrease the number of marks you lose. And you do this by focusing on areas that you're weak at. And people don't like revising this way, as nor did I, because as I said, it makes you feel kind of dumb and you just face yourself with a bunch of your weaknesses, and it's a kind of harrowing experience, right? But you need to stop seeing mistakes as failure and rather see them as an opportunity to turn that weak area into a strength. And the second chapter is to be fluid like water. People think that you need to like study 3 hours a day, like all at once, like or at your desk, and they have kind of like studying as this like concrete, like inflexible thing that's fixed in their day. But for me, I sometimes quite regularly didn't have the time to come back from school and sit down, just study for an hour or two straight. Maybe I'd have a concert on a certain night or a school event. Maybe I have a sports fixture or volunteering or a competition. These things happen often, but being adaptable and flexible like water and allowing my studying to be fluid allowed me to get top grades, because life isn't perfect, life isn't consistent. Since the beginning of life on the planet, adaptability has been an evolutionary staple. Adapt or die, as the saying goes. So even if that day I wouldn't have that much time when I got home, while waiting for like a performance, because when you start to make it a habit to look out for like spare gaps of time, you realize like on the train, while waiting, you have so much time. And during those times, I just pull up my phone, do a couple of flashcards. I might like read a couple of books on my textbook, or I might just use that time to do a couple of questions off my homework. And the point is, it doesn't feel like studying, but these little things really do add up, because the best way to study anyway, the whole basis of active revision and spaced repetition, is that you do something little but often. And so rather than viewing studying as something flexible and like 2 hours a day, like at 7 to 9 p.m, doing it throughout your day, being flexible, will also make it so that not only will you be demotivated when you can't study because you have these other things, you're also actually going to be able to like study more effectively and memorize better. You're making this disadvantageous situation a one that you can use to do active recall and test yourself. This touches upon like the kind of concept of studying without studying. So if you want to find out more about how I was able to study without studying, you can actually check out this video afterwards, because I highly recommend it. And the third chapter is to leverage motivation. Be disciplined, study when you don't feel like it, like I can do this. David Goggins, do it when it's tough, etc. It's like kind of a narrative and thing that's pushed upon like quite a lot in the productivity and study space, right? And although I agree with it to an extent, actually leveraging motivation was a really powerful factor for me to be able to get the top grades, especially while studying less. Because when I would feel extra locked in and motivated, I might study more, and that might feel quite easy. Like, you guys have bursts of like motivation when you actually like feel like studying, and this ties in nicely with making your study sessions flexible. And so I might batch together similar tasks and do a lot of like revision in one sitting if I was feeling up for it. Using batching, such as doing maths and physics together, were all ways that I was able to quote unquote study less, because like maths and physics are similar. When I sat down and studied those two together, I get them done faster than when I did them separately. But on days that I feel less motivated, I would take the day to like catch up and rest, and I might study a little bit less. But I would still do flashcards and like the mini habits I built up. I knew myself and I knew how I worked best. Instead of setting like a fixed time to study, I set myself an at least. So what that means is I told myself every day I would do at least one flashcard, one practice question, and one page of textbook. Like, I read one page of a textbook. And these things, just one of each, probably takes like 5 minutes in total. But the point is, most days I do far more than this. The reason that I set an at least isn't for the days where I'm feeling motivated. I'm setting this for days where I don't feel motivated, right? Because actually staying consistent, building habits is the hard part, but it's the thing that will get you the results. It was for those days that I wasn't feeling up for it, I set this as a MED, a minimum effective dose, so that every single day I built up this habit of studying. And so this meant that I was able to start earlier. I didn't have to cram. And since I had this foundation of studying and habits, it meant that my actual time of sitting down and studying was low, but I ended up getting all of the revision and recall done earlier and in advance, which made it so I was able to get my perfect grades quicker and with less effort. And so write down your minimum effective dose, or the amount that you're going to do each day without fail, because the key really is to do little but often, keep it flexible, and focus on your weak areas to eliminate the amount of content you have to cover. But if you just want to copy like the minimum effective dose that I have, we're actually running a challenge on my free student community where every single day we're trying to do these, and you're going to be surrounded by so many other students who are already on top of this challenge. And so if you want to like keep yourself accountable, start making studying a habit, as these people all are already starting, you can check out the free community, which will be the link in the description with a book emoji next to it. And so there was a lot to take away in this video, and I learned a lot, and I'm sharing my lessons with you, because this was how I was able to get perfect grades while studying the least. And how you use this is up to you, like I said, but remember to take action and take something away and change what you're doing now, because that's how you see progress. If you like learning from me and you really want to like ask me questions, get hands-on and really make studying and learning into something that's really nailed down for you so that you can focus on other things, or maybe you're really ambitious and you want to go to a high-end university and get all the mentoring and help you can, make sure to check out the Student Accelerator, because that's where I offer all of that and more. My students there have so much good things to say about it, and if that interests you, that'll be the link in the description with the star emoji. But as always, I'll see you in the next one.